today we're going to explore the local aviation environment. So we've got a Cessna 182. It's a 230 horse aircraft, seats 4, and we fly it over the mountains. Here most of the winds are out of the south or out of the north. When the front comes through, the wind direction changes 90 degrees. And so our crosswind runway is 90 degrees from the normal runway. Because the wind is blowing 10 or 20 knots, we can use a shorter runway because we're going to take off and land directly into the wind. So the runway is over 2,700 feet long, whereas the main runway here is over 8,000 feet long. And jets can land on it. Jets can't land on the small runway, but they can go somewhere else in just a few minutes. Whereas a small training aircraft that's operating out of here is kind of limited in how far they can go and how fast they can go. And so you have a student up, they really need to be able to land back here where they're familiar. Sending someone who, 16-year-old who can barely drive a car, and hey, I want you to drive to Oklahoma City and pick this up for me. Well, you know that's not going to work. It takes a lot more training. Around aviation, you need to have some knowledge about what you're doing. If you're driving a boat, you ought to have some marine knowledge, some knowledge about boats. And so with airplanes, it's the same kind of thing. It's really easy to make decisions about something you don't know anything about because you have no preconceived notions and no data. With more data, you can make better decisions. So that's the whole part of safety in aviation, is making good decisions based on good data. And so here we have an airport that's run by two conflicting cities who are always conflicted with each other about who's in charge and who's going to pay money and why are we paying money for this anyway. We really want the airport to service the local community. And while we may never have airline service for very long, more than a little bit at a time, this is our aviation community. Where's our next generation of pilots going to come from? They're going to train right here. They're going to support the local economy right here if you make it available to them. The current conflict is the airport board led a contract to build in theory, an airline terminal. Well, okay, and so the contractor came in and said, we're building a building. Well, no, it's supposed to be an airline terminal. Okay, we're building an airline terminal. Okay, so we're going to put up our construction trailer and we're going to site it right there. And so they got it all built up, and the control tower looked over there and said, well, you know, I can't see the end of the runway out there, so to keep us safe, we're just going to have to close that runway. Well, if you close the runway, then what are my students going to do when they have an emergency or they have to land into the wind? Now we're going to have a problem. Oh, well, we'll just shorten the runway. Well, see, it's already a short runway, and we're going to make it even shorter. Okay, and how's this going to work out? Well, we do train for short runways, and it's a requirement for the FAA, but that's at the end of your training, you're qualified to do that. Early in your training, probably not going to be able to do that. It's kind of like when you learn to drive, you didn't start driving an 18-wheeler. You started driving a little car or something with a lot of coaching on the way. And so with airplanes, that's just close the runway. No, you can't close the runway. You've got to have the runway. How about if we just move the trailer? Oh, it's already there. Who put it there? Who decided to put it there? Not my fault. You have the contract. You fix it. We need to hold our feet to the fire and make this happen. Or you could just we got a horse trailer out here with a temporary tower in it, and we could just jack that up 100 feet in the air. Okay, you could do that. Let me know how that goes. You could just open this video tower that we got over $6 million invested in if the FAA would just come and certify the tower. Everything's there, we're ready to go. We're just waiting for the FAA to come in and finish the work. I'm a taxpayer. I already paid for this. I want to use things around me. You use the roads, you paid your taxes. I use the air, I paid my taxes. I pay taxes, these people work for me. Let's make this happen.